Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has come out to criticize the World Bank. In his speech, he did not have any kind words when he issued a very candid speech at the World Bank International Development Association, that is IDA Summit for African Heads of State, held in Nairobi, Kenya earlier this week. In his address, he talked about the fact that Africa's current crisis were predicted over 60 years. The crisis that exists in Africa today is because of philosophical, ideological, strategic, and economic mistakes which have been talking about since the 1960s. It is not by accident, he said. He added that the collapse of some African states was avoidable. However, due to circumstances, some Africans went into ruins. In his speech, he said he has been a president of Uganda for close to 40 years. He took aim at the World Bank guiding principle of pushing sustainable development. The World Bank has been talking about sustainable development for so many years. I'm turning 80 years old, but I've never seen sustainable pregnancy. That a woman is pregnant this year and the pregnancy continues for 3 years, 4 years. It never happens. In life, pregnancy develops sustainably within the womb of the woman. Quantitatively, the baby grows bigger and bigger, but at some stage, quantitative growth must be transformed into qualitative change. The pregnancy must become a baby, otherwise the fetus will die. So therefore, I would ask you to change those words in your documents. Africa doesn't need sustainable underdevelopment. Africa needs socio-economic transformation. The main reason there is no growth is because the growth factor are not funded or understood. Museveni also focused on the role of private sector in boosting economic growth. The private sector needs low production costs. This includes low transport costs, which come from the railway. If you don't fund the railway, how will you get low transport costs? Museveni questioned. He also highlights the cost implication that come with unreliable supply of electricity. If you don't fund electricity, you cannot talk about sustainable development. He also said, directing his remarks at World Bank representatives headed by the institution's president, Aja Bangi, I don't entertain that nonsense anymore from neo-colonial civil servants. Uganda is developing and will keep developing, the head of state added. Museveni also criticized what he defines as senseless borrowing. Why are we borrowing? For capacity building? They call you to hotel, you eat and live, and they call that capacity building? He questioned, advising that capacity building should be practiced on ground and not through seminars. Private sector-led growth, which many African countries have gravitated towards, was also a point of reflection during Museveni's speech. Museveni also addressed the issue of subsistence economy, proposing that more effort should be extended to encouraging the money economy. Many Ugandans live hand to mouth. They produce just to eat. We now need to graduate to a money economy where one can afford to eat but also save or invest some money. That's how he advised.
These neo-colonial civil servants who have been holding us back, I have put my foot down, say I don't want to hear those stories. And Uganda is developing and it will develop because I don't entertain that nonsense anymore. Borrowing for what? Capacity building. Imagine seminars, they call you in a hotel, you eat chapati, you eat mandazi. They say that is capacity building. Capacity building should be on the ground, not just seminars. So, the second point, Excellence, is electricity. The third one, those people who talk about private sector-led growth, private sector-led growth. I have been trying to borrow money for our UDB, Uganda Development Bank, a bank which funds manufacturers. No, I don't get support for that. Instead, they want me to go, my people to go to commercial banks. But commercial banks cannot give, no, those commercial banks are to encourage imports. Because the only person who can borrow money and pay it back from a commercial bank is a trader who goes to China, goes to where, Dubai, brings products, sells them quickly and pays back. So, if you are serious, I needed to hear about the low-cost funding for manufacturing. Not for stories, not for what, no, manufacturing. How about funding for irrigation? Because if you want to stabilize agriculture, a country like Uganda is very rich, we have got everything. But still sometimes we get some erraticness in the rain. So in order to stabilize, I've been trying to look for a loan for irrigation. I can't easily get it. Very difficult to get. A loan for seminars, very quick. The civil servants, what? But a loan for irrigation, you don't see. Now finally, the loan for, I don't know the situation in other African countries, and I don't have time to talk for a long, I don't have opportunity to talk for long. But Uganda is a very rich country. But one of the problems we were having was that our people were outside the money economy. They were in what they call subsistence sector. They just produce for eating, produce for eating. Wanashughulikia tumbo tu. So I was looking for money. Please give me money to give coffee seedlings to these fellows who are just producing for the stomach, so that they can produce for the stomach but also produce for the pocket, so that they join the money economy. You cannot imagine that by 2013, a few years ago, 68% of the homesteads in Uganda were still in the subsistence sector, in the non-money economy. You audit your countries. What is the situation? What is the percentage of the people? So I had now to use my own money because I couldn't borrow money from anybody. The loans are for capacity building, for, I don't know, sometimes they give for ICT, but ICT is a communication system, mainly. What are you going to communicate on that communication? How are you? Good morning. And you think that is communication? Why don't you have ICT linked with agriculture, linked with industry? Oh, now the digital. Are you eating computers? Have I seen anybody eating computers? just running up and down, maneno tu. So I was insisting that all these Ugandans must be in the money economy. 2013, not long ago, 68% of Ugandans were outside the money economy because Uganda is a very rich country. A fool can survive there. In other countries, fools die. But in Uganda, fools can thrive there. They just eat. He stays with his brothers. He eats. He goes from there to the sister. He eats. He's not earning anything, but he's eating. So we said no. Everybody must be involved in the money economy. We couldn't get any support for that, but we funded it ourselves. Each year, we spend about $300 million of our own to make these villagers join the money economy by producing for the stomach, but also for the pocket.
Thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe, like, and share.